2025 is all about cleansing. I want to cleanse the people in my life that don't serve me. I want to have a cleaner house. I want to take care of my body and cleanse it without alcohol, without toxins, just teaching ways to cleanse for the New Year's. That is my word. Hello, beautiful humans. It is our first episode of 2025. I'm actually recording this on New Year's Eve. I just felt really inspired, really motivated, and I just thought I want to jump on the mic and record my 10 lessons of 2024 before the year ends so that we can reflect on them and take these learnings into the new year. So first and foremost, I hope you're all having a beautiful break or Christmas holiday. If you're jumping back to the office or work, good luck. It's going to be a big 2025. I hope amongst the busyness of the holiday season, you had some time to reflect on the year that was. This is a really, really powerful time to start thinking about what you want for this new year. What do you want to change? What do you want to manifest? Because this time of year for some people can feel a little bit overwhelming. You might feel a little bit unsure and uncertain about what you want, but when you're able to look back at your year, you can find certain patterns, things that made you happy, things that got you excited, maybe some relationships in your life that have flourished, maybe some you've let go, whatever it is. It's really good to look back because that's when we learn. So I thought we could start with a little life update. I've moved into our new home and I am recording from our new home. It is so beautiful. I'm so grateful to live here. We're actually hosting New Year's Eve tonight, which is super exciting. And it's so funny because we're using all my wellness things for the party. So the ice bath is where the drinks are going to be. My LED, my Bon Charge is going to be used for the dance floor. So it's like a red vibe. So yeah, I'm also doing a matcha bar and kombucha because I'm not drinking at the moment. I haven't had a drink since October. And I have decided to go sober for 2025. I will share an episode on sobriety, why I've gone sober, and my learnings so far. I think that this is a really cool episode to record. So let me know if you guys are interested in that. I also thought this would be a really good time to say thank you again for all the love, for all the support. Meeting each and every one of you at walk clubs and events warms my entire soul. I feel like I have grown so many friends in 2024 and I'm excited to keep growing in 2025. We've got some amazing events planned. The next one will be in February. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you follow my account at Selfdom __ and at Dominique Elisa so you are able to see what events, what things are coming up. I always get messages from you guys saying you missed out on tickets or you didn't know we had a walk club. So yeah, Instagram is where I really share that sort of stuff. So make sure you're on board with that. I also thought I would touch on one thing. A lot of my listeners are around my age, late 20s, and I've discovered your Saturn return. I'm sure a lot of you do know what it is, but oh my God, like I'm absolutely in my Saturn return. So you may be thinking, some of you, what is a Saturn return, Dom? So I asked ChatGPT and it said, so our Saturn return is an astrological event that happens when the planet Saturn returns to the same position in the sky that it was when you were born. It can start from your 27th birthday, but often it is around 29 or 30. So Saturn as a planet represents wisdom and knowledge. So when the planet returns, it's like this coming of age. And during this time, we often experience challenges that can feel really difficult. We might have let go of people or other aspects of our life that aren't serving us. And with this comes radical change to really push us into our most authentic self. This has felt so true. 2024 was all about letting go of people, change, wisdom, purpose. I honestly feel like it was the year of growth for me. So if you're someone who hasn't reached your late 20s yet, this is something really to look forward to because at the time it kind of felt overwhelming. the change, especially as a Taurus. I like stability, I like routine. I don't love change, but I have really tried to embrace it. And now I'm reflecting on the year. I'm like, wow, that was all meant to happen. Like, I feel super aligned and I feel really excited to continue in my Saturn return. And yeah, just continue letting go and cleansing. I think my word for 2025, I always have a word. So 2025 is all about cleansing. I want to cleanse the people in my life that don't serve me. I want to have a cleaner house. I want to take care of my body and cleanse it without alcohol, without toxins, not using endocrine disrupting products. Yeah, just this word cleansing keeps coming up. And I think it will be the focus of our February event. Yeah, just teaching ways to cleanse for the new year. So that is my word. So, as I said, we're starting the year with a solo episode with me, and it's going to be my 10 takeaways from 2024 that we are going to take into our life for 2025. I think sharing your learnings with your friends is a really good way to remember them, hold yourself accountable, but it also inspires other people. So, yeah, I encourage you to take note of my reflections, but also spend that half an hour journaling and just reflecting on the year. It is so important for your own growth. So, my first learning for 2024 was eating enough protein is actually a full-time job. So, if you've been following the channel and me for a while, you know I've been balancing my hormones, and eating enough protein is such a big part of this. I was hardly eating enough protein for majority of my 20s. Wow. When I realized I need to be having like 100 grams a day, you really have to think about it. So meal prepping has become such a staple in my weekly routine. One of my favorite things I've been meal prepping recently are my gluten-free meatballs. And the way I do that is I get grass-fed, grass-finished minced meat beef, and then I add LSA mix. Then I add one egg, I add garlic, I add onion, I add olive oil, salt, and pepper. Then I roll them into balls, put them in the air fryer for 16 minutes. Mwah. So good. And they're such a good meal prep, such a good little protein hit, because I was really into having like boiled eggs as extra protein, but I'm actually really vibing meatballs, which is random, but they're really good. But yeah, just focusing on protein has really changed it's changed my energy. It's healed my skin. Like, this sounds crazy, but I don't know, no one would have noticed this really, but every episode I've recorded since my skin went bad, I had my hair down. I just did not want to show my face. And this is the first episode I'm recording with my hair up. And yeah, it just feels nice to not worry about my skin, like everything I eat, worrying about my skin breaking out. And I feel like having protein was probably the main contributor to healing my skin and healing my gut, because I firstly feel fuller for longer. Not snacking on sugary things. I'm not going for those protein balls. I think a big thing I want to highlight here is having protein from natural sources. Like, I still will have protein powder, but that's probably the only processed protein I have. I much prefer having salmon, tuna, chicken, like having it in its full form. So yeah, having protein and meal prepping has been a really big life lesson this year that I'm going to take into 2025. I also did want to point out that if you're new to this, using apps like MyFitnessPal are really helpful to see how much protein you're having, because I didn't realize that I wasn't having enough protein. So yeah, if you're like, how do I know how much is in my food? Using a little app like MyFitnessPal is really helpful. My second takeaway is don't have caffeine on an empty stomach. Oh my God, my entire life I had matcha on an empty stomach, which, okay, for me, I would like wake up in the morning and that would get me out of bed. So it was kind of a reward for getting up early and watching the sunrise. And it was such a beautiful thing. But I was running off this cortisol, like shaky, a bit stressed all the time. And I just feel so much more at peace and like this stable energy since I've started having a high protein breakfast before I have a matcha. And I do want to say here, when I've started to have breakfast, it wasn't easy because I had no appetite in the morning from years of not having breakfast. but your appetite will come back. During this silly season, I've definitely been indulging a little bit more in the evenings, going out for food. So if I don't feel hungry in the morning, I don't force myself to eat, but I'll add 2 scoops of protein into my matcha. And then that's 30 grams of protein. So at least then I'm able to stabilize my hormones. So Alyssa Vitti, I'm like, you guys are here, but Alyssa Vitti, I always talk about her. She has the book In the Flow. She is the queen of cycle syncing. She actually created it and healed her PCOS through this method. But she says that caffeine can negatively impact hormones in women by spiking our cortisol. She continues by saying eating protein before consuming caffeine is important for women's hormone health. This is why having a high protein breakfast before my morning matcha has been such a game changer. My third one is take ownership of your health and get your bloods tested. We all feel so busy all the time, but we put our health to the sideline. And without our health, we can't carry on. We can't live life. So why do we keep pushing it aside? So I want this year to be the year we prioritize our health and get our bloods tested. Like, go this week, go get them done. It has really changed my whole perspective on health. It's so bio-individual, and Instagram is an amazing place for inspiration. I love watching what I eat in a day. I love seeing the different supplements people have. However, you need to know what works for you and your requirements. So by getting your blood tests done, you can have more of a streamlined plan that works for you. Because what works for me might not work for you. And I hope that I inspire you to live healthier and to the fullest. But when it comes to diet and supplements, it's super unique to you. So I really encourage you to see a naturopath this year, invest in your health, and get yourself feeling good, because often if you feel like something isn't right, it isn't. This past few months, I actually went and got a colonoscopy, and I just had a feeling like something wasn't right, and I'm so happy I went. I have peace of mind. Everything was okay, thank goodness. My mum has had bowel cancer in the past, so I just wanted to be sure. So this is your message: to prioritize your health, make time for your health, because truly, you can't do anything without it. So, yes. My fourth one is digital detox for 48 hours every month. This holiday season, I spent a lot of time doing nothing, recharging, not on my phone, not posting, and it was the happiest I have felt in a long time. And I love what I do. I love sharing my life, don't get me wrong, but it's the moment of stillness and presence with your family and friends that really, really lights your soul up. Forbes has shared a statistic that 73% of 25 to 35-year-olds chronically overthink. This is getting in the way of living your life to the fullest. And when you're on Instagram, it can often spark that anxiety in you, and you're seeing what other people are doing, especially over the silly season. Maybe someone's passed away in your life, and that's bringing up a lot of emotions. So I really want you to spend less time on your phone. 48 hours of every month is a rule that I'm going to do. It means one weekend of no phone, airplane mode. I have found in those times, like recently on this holiday break, I have felt so in tune with my purpose. I felt really inspired. I've come up with content ideas, and then I can come to work with more passion. I come to friends' events with more energy. I'm just go harder in my workouts, I found, because I've rested. So I'm just ready to go. One thing Tom and I did over the Christmas break was we pretended our new home was an Airbnb, and we had a staycation, and we had the cleaners come. They made the place look beautiful, and we came in and we went for big walks. We weren't on our phone. We weren't allowed to make arrangements. We weren't even allowed to go to the gym separate. We had to do everything together. We played endless amounts of Monopoly Deal, and I just felt so connected to him, and I feel really happy going into this new year after that digital detox. And I know it can be hard sometimes, And you don't need to have a partner to do this at all. I think doing it alone is really where the growth happens. I mean, people go on 10-day retreats where you're not allowed to speak, you're not allowed to move, like you're not even allowed to walk. You just have to be super present. And people say it's the hardest thing they do, but it's the best thing they ever do because they come out the other end with this presence, alignment, focus, understanding of that inner self. One thing for me as well is that meditating twice a day. Often I do the morning and I forget to do the afternoon because I'm so busy. But I think it was a really good reminder of those 2 days when I meditated both times. That top meditation, that afternoon meditation, that's actually when I go into it deeper because I've kind of already let the shit go in the morning. And then the afternoon, it's like, wow, ideas are flowing. And yeah, I just feel at peace. So I hope you can take that learning too and just get off your phone a little bit more. My fifth learning is 1 glass of wine isn't worth the bad sleep. So I got an Aura ring. I'm so excited. And that was a Christmas present from Tom. And yeah, I haven't drank, so it hasn't shown me my sleep is disturbed by drinking. But apparently, when you have an Aura ring or a Whoop strap, the first thing that wigs you out is your sleep goes terrible when you just have 1 glass of wine. And I personally think it's not worth it. I think if you're someone who drinks, that's all well and good, and I support you, of course. But I want you to think twice before you have that casual drink. Think twice because it will impact your score, which will then your sleep score, which will then impact your morning, and it has a really big flow-on effect to your energy levels. I think a lot of us drink because of social pressures or everyone else's. So for 2025, I just want you to think about it before you pick up that wine with dinner. Do I really need this? Because even though you feel like you're going into a deeper sleep, you can't get your REM when you drink. For me personally, as I said, we're having a New Year's Eve party tonight. So it's going to be a really, really big challenge not to drink. However, I know if I do drink, I'm only doing it to fit in and because of social pressures. And I've really, really instilled that in myself. So I want to live by that, live in my most authentic and truest self. I've booked a PT for tomorrow, January 1st, 2025, so that I really stick to this best, highest version of myself. And I actually feel so excited to do a year sober. I'm feeling so good about it. If anyone else wants to jump in on doing a year sober with me, let's make a little group and do it together because I think accountability is amazing, and we could do, sober meetups so that we don't feel as alone because sometimes it can feel a little bit isolating. My sixth learning is a little bit fun, which is getting a dog is always a good idea. So we got Crumble on January 1st, 2024, so a year ago. And if any of you don't know the story, Tom surprised me with Crumble last year. We were in Perth and it was Christmas, and he gave me a framed photo of a dog. And I was like, oh my God, cute, you made me a vision board. Little did I know, he had bought the dog and we were picking him up on January 1st. And I was super excited for 48 hours. But then my type A personality came in and was like, we said we would get a dog in a year's time, not now. I'm always traveling. All these reasons for why not. And Tom was like, look, we don't have to get the dog. We've actually never met Crumble. It's okay. I'm sure he'll find another owner. And I was like, no, I already love him. We have to. And I don't think I ever would have felt ready because commitment to an animal can be really scary. But it has been the best thing ever having Crumble. So much love. They teach you to be present. They are just balls of joy. And yeah, getting the dog has been the best thing ever. So if you're in a position to get a dog or you're on the fence, I really recommend you do it because for me, where I am in my life, where I want to be at home more, I want my early mornings, dog fits in perfectly. And there's always friends who will look after your dog. I think you just make it work. So yeah, if you guys get any puppies, let me know because then we can do a little doggy play date and that would warm my entire soul. My seventh learning is perfectionism is out. Oh my God, I want to scream this from the rooftop. I'm sure a bunch of you have had an idea of a business or something you wanted to do. And now you're looking back on the year and you didn't start. Maybe because you didn't have the business plan, you couldn't find a supplier, and then you just gave up. But it doesn't need to be perfect. Just starting is the key. And we can't be perfectionists on it because otherwise you never start. And I look at the journey with the journals, which is one of my proudest moments for 2024 was just doing it. The journal was in the making for quite some time. I was a little bit of a perfectionist on the product. However, when I launched the product, I've never had a business before. I didn't know how to use Shopify. I have no idea on logistics. I'm not even like a company. Like, I honestly have so many things to do, so many things to learn, but I just did it. And you learn along the way. You make mistakes, but oh my God, I'm so happy I did it. And someone who's just a year into business, I think a lot of the time we hear from people who are like 5-10 years, they've already done it, but I'm a year in. So, I'm kind of close to where you are if you're someone listening with that idea that you want to start, but just do it. Let go of the perfect Instagram. Let go of that. Oh, the Instagram handle's taken. Mix it up, change it. It can always change. If you're someone who has this idea, inkling, just do it. Number 8 is outsource. So last year I saw, well, it's this year for me, but it'll be last year for you guys listening. Last year I saw Stephen Bartlett speak, The Diary of a CEO, and I actually got to meet him, which was amazing. He is so inspiring. But one of his tips was outsource. And for me as a small business owner who's just trying to cover cost at this point, I was like, I can't spend money. Like, I need to put the money into buying stock and everything else. But outsourcing has been the best thing ever. I have hired someone to edit the podcast. I've hired someone to wrap the journals, and my mum, of course, she's wrapping journals. And then Tom's come on board for logistics. There's a few people. I've got my graphic design. I've got a few people now. And it's been the best thing ever because it means that I can focus on what I'm really good at instead of trying to learn how to do Shopify, instead of trying to edit a podcast, which would take me 8 hours when it takes my editor like 3. So outsource. And I know it's scary to spend money, but if you want the best results and if you believe in your product, you having more time to focus on the creative or what your strength is will only grow the business more, and you'll be able to make that money back that you're giving it to people to work for. Every good business has a good team. So I really encourage you to outsource. Maybe it's the tech of your business or something that you just really struggle with, because that stress is going to hinder your creativity. And yeah, it's just taking away time from you doing what you're really good at. For 2025, we're going to trust in abundance. We're going to trust in self. We're going to be brave and outsource the jobs that you are really not an expert in. Focus on what is your forte. My 9th learning is streamline your energy into what matters to you. So life is too short to not love what you do for majority of the time. One of my favorite meditations from the Self-Love Thursday episodes was Tom's episode where we thought about mortality. We thought about our deathbed and looking back on our life and what we wish we would have done more of. And I think if you haven't done that meditation, I really recommend it because it got me to think about what I would look back on. And let's think about business and play. Start off with play. I would have regretted not going on those trips and working. I would have regretted not spending more time with my family, and I would have regretted just being on my phone and scrolling instead of being present with everyone in my life. And it's a really good reminder when you catch yourself doomsday scrolling, or you'll catch yourself saying no to these opportunities because you're worried. So we just booked Europe for next year, and I was a bit stressed about it, but I just thought, you know what, I'm going to look back on my life and wish I took those trips. So that was one thing. And another thing when it comes to streamlining my energy when it comes to work is saying no to things that don't fill your cup up. I think for me and my learning is I am so grateful to get sent opportunities a lot of the time. And I think I've said more to too many, actually, because every time I say yes to something, you're saying no to something else. And that's a really important takeaway. And every time I say yes to something for the money, I'm saying no to using that time towards Selfdom, which is my purpose and my passion and for where I want it to be. So for 2025, I definitely want to be a little bit more selective with who I give my time to. And I guess also what I thought about in terms of streamlining your energy, it's like when you give your energy to friends, are you saying no to yourself? Like if you're saying yes to a party that you don't really want to go to, are you saying no to yourself? Know your boundaries, know what energy you want to give and to who and to where, and it will really help. And that's where the vision board stuff is so good, because you can literally have it on your fridge and just ask yourself, is this going to serve my higher self when a job comes up, when an invitation comes up? You don't always need to say yes. There is so much power in saying no. And I think that leads really nicely to the last tip, which is worry less about what people think. Oh my God. Like, this is when my Saturn return feels in full swing, because I, for so long, cared so much about what people thought. And I would just go out drinking and just not serve the person I wanted to be. And now I feel like I'm in this growth stage of my life. Like, I actually don't care what people think. And I love dancing and being silly. So, like, at my New Year's Eve party tonight, I want everyone on the dance floor dancing. I don't want anyone like being suki la la. I want everyone having fun and just being free and just not worrying about what people think. I think I get a lot of that from Tom. He is so just zest for life and fun. Like, he'll dance with strangers. So for 2025, I want you to compliment a stranger on the street. I want you to smile at your barista. I want you to make new friends. And I want you to just be your greatest self. I have such a good feeling about 2025. I hope this video and podcast is really going to help you feel excited too. And I can't wait to connect with more of you, meet more of you, and just share ideas and plans. I love hearing from you. If you love this episode, make sure that you subscribe to my channel. It really helps me grow. And whenever I see you guys sharing the episodes on your story, it means the world to me. So yeah, I hope you guys love the episode. Big things for 2025. I have some of my dream guests coming on the pod in February. I'm so excited. So yeah, I hope you all have a beautiful week.